our Dreamcast guy. He never lies. When you go ahead and bring it on reviews. Cause you know he's bringing it to all you fools. Cause you know we got Dreamcast guy. He never lies. When you see him online on PS5. Cause they got exclusive games you like.
PlayStation 5 generation has been a bit of a train wreck.
What? You've been lying to people for the past 5 years. I used to be a fan of this channel. It seems like you was grifted. Are you really trying to get me angry right about now, Dreamcast, man?
This is the console generation that's had the least first-party PlayStation games.
But yet you told people that it was the greatest. It's the best PS5, better than the PlayStation 1, even the 2. These are the things that you people have been saying. Just for you to say 5 years later that the PS5 has been nothing but an utter mess. But guess what? It got 75 million hardware sales, if that's going to make a difference. This is what I've been trying to tell you, man. But yet y'all want to still continue to cap and act like PlayStation is the best place to play your video games at. And it clearly isn't.
PlayStation Game Studios feels like they've put out almost nothing. We've got a couple things like Returnal, God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, Astrobot. But for the most part, I feel like this generation is very much going to be remembered in a negative light. But
wow. You hear that? I guess PlayStation is dead, huh, Dreamcast guy? Ho, 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 ho.
Today, we got our first leak that seems to be 100% true about the PlayStation 6. And it sounds like the tactic coming up is going to be twofold. It sounds like with the PlayStation 6, according to these leaks, the system is going to be made cheaper. Like they're actually going to try and make the next generation.
So just expect it being more of a performance box. I told you guys this. That's all it's going to be. You're going to probably still be playing games, PS5 level of graphics, and yet you're going to get better performance. I told you, man. And if you notice, the more that we keep evolving as a gaming industry, the less and less improvements that we're starting to see. I mean, imagine going from the Super Nintendo to the N64. That was massive. Or even the 64 to the GameCube, even PS2 to PS3, right? I mean, PS4 was kind of negligible, but you still could see the differences. But now PS4 going to 5? I mean, it's really starting to become less significant. This is just something that I've noticed. And honestly, I'm not really looking forward to this because at the end of the day, if you're telling me that it's going to essentially be the same type of devices with just better performance options in regards to running the same games we're already playing, then I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the days where games used to be groundbreaking. Remember when you picked up a new system and you're like, wow, I can't believe this. That other system could not do it. The vast majority of these games can still run on the PS4 if they chose to. I'm going to be honest with y'all. You know what I mean? Stellar Blade, a lot of these games can run on PS4, and the Steam Deck exposes this. You get what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day, I don't even know if you can even call this... I mean, it's clearly not a next generation, but even then, like, the 4K, 120, all these things that you guys have promised clearly haven't been met yet.
Lower cost, and also have a handheld. Now, these leaks we're talking about today are coming from Moore's Law is Dead. This guy's actually done a bunch of different leaks. In fact, some of his videos have been so accurate, Sony's actually an old tech theory, which is the fact that basically technology doubles every 6 years. This is like an old sort of like computing tech. Originally, computers, how can we get that and adapt it to the PlayStation 6? That way, producing the PlayStation 6 is as cheap as it possibly can be.
Oh,
we want the graphics to be good. We want the games to be good, but we don't want to have a $1,000 console. Now, why do I mention $1,000? There have been a lot of leaks about the fact that the Xbox, the next-gen Xbox, it sounds like Microsoft is in a big rush. They're very much...
Now, mind you, I would rather pay $1,000 for a huge difference in what we're getting than $500 for the same old crap. I'm going to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, man, at that point, I'll just stick to my PS5. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I get $1,000 might be a little too much, but if you're talking about its leaps and beyond the power of what you're getting with the PS6, then to me, I would go as far to go with that. I'm just saying, man, because I want to see games back to how it used to be, where they used to be groundbreaking. Remember when you said that the exclusives used to take full advantage of the hardware? Well, we're not clearly seeing that anymore because they're using the lowest common denominator on PC, and they're taking that and importing games to everywhere else. So maybe that's why these guys care so much about exclusives. But the only problem from that is the fact that I don't think companies really care anymore because they're trying to keep their games as low cost worthy so they can make more money. Do you get what I mean? They don't want to spend $400-500 million on an ambitious title just for them to walk out with probably half of what they paid for when they invested into the game. See, so this is where the problem is really stemming from. The high budgets of these games and the fact that these companies want to be compensated for the work and time and money that they're putting into their own projects.
Get it out the door. In fact, we've even already seen Xbox has released official cryptic statements. Sarah Bond, the president of Xbox and stuff, has even come out and said, yes, we're working on next gen. Yes, next gen is coming sooner than you think. A lot of people think that what's about to happen is that Microsoft has said they're about to stop subsidizing the Xbox consoles. When it comes to Sony, Sony sells the PS5s at a loss. Everybody knows that. Sony sells.
Oh, really? So how you guys? Then why do you guys keep bringing up the hardware sales? You guys use hardware sales as a determining factor as to who won the console war, just to find out. We already knew this because I've even told people they've been doing this since the NES that they lose money every time they sell you a console. So why do you guys use the hardware sales as a way of winning an argument? Because if that case, that means the more consoles that Sony has sold means the more money they've lost. Gabe still with another W.
At a loss because they make all their money on the back end.
Exactly, which is live service and subscription, which is what Game Pass Ultimate and PlayStation Plus and Premium is, and the software that they're selling you. Now understand that free-to-plays can completely avoid all of that, and people can play on the platforms essentially free of charge while also losing money to games like Fortnite and having people not pay for online. Now you guys are starting to see what's going on. I find it so funny that you want to finally realize that now. Is it because the console war is over and you know your games are going to be ported to Xbox? Because I already knew this a long time ago.
Sells on a PlayStation, they get a 30% cut, whether it is Fortnite, V-Bucks, or you're buying something first party, or you're buying Assassin's Creed Shadows. Everything makes PlayStation money. And they've said they've made now more money on the PlayStation 5 than any other console generation. It means that they don't mind selling the PlayStation 5 up front at a loss because they know they're going to make it back on the back end. Whereas Xbox has said they no longer have that. They're just, nobody's really buying games on the Xbox console. Nobody's even buying third-party stuff on the Xbox console. So they've said...
I mean, I'm assuming they're buying the same third-party games as y'all. I wouldn't go as far to say that. And I will say Xbox owners do subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate, which means that all the money that you're invested goes directly to Microsoft. So what are you talking about? It's so funny how you say that, oh, Sony makes money off the back end, but yet Microsoft doesn't make money off their back end? Explain to me. Like, that makes no sense. Because, and on top of that, they're not buying your exclusive games. That's why your games are failing and flopping. Bro, you know what, man? See, this is the problem with the PlayStation community. It's the fact that you guys use examples for y'all, but yet when it comes to Xbox, oh, we act like, they don't make no money off the back end. Only we make money off subscriptions, but Microsoft don't with Game Pass Ultimate. Like, come on, man. Like I said, all these companies are making money off the subscription service, as well as Nintendo. It's essentially free money.
Specifically, we're going to stop subsidizing the Xbox. If it cost us $800 to make, we're going to sell it to you for $800. It's not going to be $700. We're not going to take a loss. So a lot of people have been basically saying that if the next-gen Xbox is even roughly this power, it's probably going to be about $1,000. Yes, the number is fantastic. Yes, that number is huge. But there is talks that the next-gen Xbox very likely is going to be $1,000.
Well, I mean, considering what you're getting with it, it's actually worth it. I would rather pay $1,000 for the new Xbox, considering I can play your games on it anyway, even if Sony decides not to do it, or decides to say, you know what, let's pull back on that idea. Well, you're putting the games on Steam, and they're going to be available regardless. To be honest, if anything, I get an Xbox and a PlayStation all in one by buying Xbox's new console over yours. That's facts. So you could take your little $500-600 Lunchable box because honestly, your exclusives ain't even worth a damn. They're not worth a damn, so much so that even your own audience don't want them. That's why you guys are port begging for Xbox games. That's why Xbox games are trending on your own video game charts. When do you see exclusives? Exactly. You guys say that people pick up the PlayStation for exclusives, but yet all we keep hearing is excuses. your games don't sell.
So some people are saying, okay, what if this is the strategy? There's a heavy emphasis on cost cutting. They're trying to make the PlayStation 6 literally as cheap as they possibly can.
And that's a good thing, right?
So this would be a pretty brilliant checkmate. Xbox comes out first. The next-gen Xbox is $1,000. Next-gen Xbox, apparently the rumors are saying that it's going to be a micro PC. It's actually going to play Steam games. It's going to have Xbox storefront, Blizzard launcher and stuff inside the console itself.
So at that point, I might as well just get the new Xbox. Because I get an Xbox and a PlayStation. And a PC! All in one platform! Yeah, I think the new Xbox is looking far more appealing than the lousy PlayStation 6 that's probably going to be very limited and restricted in the design and the philosophy of what Sony's trying to bring you.
So it is going to be literally...
So when you said it has Steam, Good Old Games, Xbox, Blizzard, Epic Games Storefront, and playing PlayStation games through Steam, if they don't really decide to release them on the new Xbox, well, guess what? That's a win-win situation for me.
Standalone PC with a controller and stuff like that, but it's going to be very expensive. So it would be interesting if PlayStation comes out right after that and says, hey, nice try, here is how our system's going to be. Some of the talk is that they're trying to make it cheaper than the PS5 Pro. This, to me, would be insane. If they come out and say, this is the PlayStation 6, it's $600, it would break the internet in half. A lot of these numbers and stuff, as crazy as it is...
Yeah, but probably $600 with no disk drive. No disk drive.
Faster performance would place PlayStation 6 in the same ballpark of performance as a GeForce RTX 50. Unlike the Xbox ROG Ally, which is just using off-the-shelf system-on-chip, this could be a very unique chip for just this.
And also, too, let's not also argue free online. You're going to be able to get free online with the new Xbox. I'm just saying, man, that to me, that $1,000 is far worth, and I think Microsoft's going to do different variations like how they did with the Series S and X. To me, that sounds like a great deal, man. I don't care. Y'all like, what game? Bro, come on, man. You're getting Steam, PlayStation, games, good old games, all these storefronts, Xbox's very own storefront, emulation. I mean, who the hell would want a PlayStation 6? Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to still pay for online while Xbox is giving it for free. So, to be honest with you, it kind of makes sense. And like you said, it's also a PC too. I mean, the benefit of that in comparison to what you're getting on PlayStation, I'm sorry, the Xbox, even at $1,000, just sounds like a far better offering.
Console. It could be quite a bit more powerful than the Nintendo Switch 2, but again, if it's mainly targeting 1080p, it could use current-gen titles at the same quality of FPS. I want to see what this looks like, but I do think it really does come down to games. There was a huge adoption rate of people going from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. I must admit that despite the PS5 shortages and stuff, I was very much blown away by the amount of people that jumped straight from PS4 to PS5, despite the fact that there wasn't that many launch games, you know?
I'm going to be honest, man. I think gaming has stagnated. I truly do. I mean, I think it had a good year during that time. I think people bought into the whole COVID thing because they needed something to do with these consoles. And, I mean, the FOMO has weared out quickly, bro. Like, I'll say one thing. This generation, I feel like people just got tired of these consoles already. And on top of the fact that you don't really need these consoles that still continue to have fun. If you want to play Fortnite on PS4, you can still play it at 60 FPS. You're not really losing much, man. A lot of the games they play is 60 FPS. You're not losing much. The only reason as to why people are going to upgrade is for GTA 6. That is what saved these consoles, which is unfortunate because I go as far to say that GTA, when it came out, those consoles was already built. You know what I mean? Like, it came into those install bases with 70, 80 million console sales between the PS3 and 360 individually. It didn't need to, help boost up the sales of those platforms. If anything, nothing really significantly changed when it came out. Now, people are going to buy into the PS5 just for Grand Theft Auto 6? And that's going to be the only game they're going to play? I mean, come on, man. Like, you got to ask yourself, man. Yeah, games, that is kind of underwhelming.
That many games that were enhanced to such a heavy degree. There were some games that looked way, way better on PlayStation 5. Games definitely ran better on PlayStation 5. Games definitely had no...
Not all games. I mean, it's a case-by-case basis. I can make the same argument for Xbox.
load times on PlayStation 5, but I was always impressed by the amount of people that went straight from PS4 to PS5.
Why would you be surprised? If you buy PS4 games, more than likely you're not going to want to lose access to the games that you purchase, right? So why wouldn't you upgrade to the PS5? It's no different than why Switch 1 owners upgraded to the Switch 2. Ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl, because they can carry their old catalog of games. How is that hard for you to understand? You know what? I got a better one. What about the PS1 and 2? Well, I don't know why people would upgrade from the PS1 all the way to the PS2. Ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl, because it's backwards compatibility. Oh, wow. All the old games and accessories that I bought can be carried over. Like, bro, like, what? You can't be this stupid, bro.
Before the library even really had a chance to build up, I think when it comes to PlayStation 6, the biggest mistake that Sony needs to avoid is doing better at actually saying, hey, here's the PlayStation 6, and it already has these 10 games ready to go. Is that going to happen?
Yeah, it's going to be called cross-gen.
Absolutely not. But it's fun to cope. How do you feel about
You heard that? He said it's fun to cope. Like I said, man, in my honest opinion, if PlayStation do come out with a $600 console, and I think Microsoft will have two different variations. I could see that. Maybe probably like a Series S and a Series, whatever they decide to call this, Series X version of a platform PC. That will probably cut into Sony, but if you want the high end, you're gonna have to pay the $1,000. I mean, you're still getting the bells and whistles of everything else, so that you're gonna have to compete with Microsoft's low end model, which we don't know. They might price that at $600. You see what I'm saying? So we really don't know how this is going. I mean, look no further than what they're doing with the Xbox handheld, right? Very similar, right? How it's a $200 difference. They might do that. The new Xbox might potentially be $800. We don't know the prices, but it might be $200 less, which would also put it in the same ballpark as the PS6, right? But it just won't be more powerful, but then you'll get the same features and options of the Series X equivalent, which I think would be smart for Microsoft. And if you want that version, you either pay the $800 or $1,000 or whatever, the $200 difference for that version, for the better power, and essentially the one with probably the same, I would assume, the same specs as the PS6, right? So that's going to be pretty dangerous. I really think that's going to be pretty dangerous, because once you start adding in the free online and all these other aspects that Microsoft is going to be providing for you, then I'm telling you, man, even the low-end well, it doesn't have better graphics than the PS. I don't even think people would care. As long as it can play the same games and you're getting free online and you're getting the same benefits of the new higher tier model, I think people would be fine with that, even though it's more powerful. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, man, I mean, these dudes are still going off leaks. I mean, at this point, they're so desperate that the PS5 has failed them that now they want to move the goalpost to the PlayStation 6. Get ready for the console war soon, guys. It's coming in a few years. And guess what? Even though Sony fanboys have lost it, they're going to find a way to bring it back. And this will be their reason why. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And like I said, take care. Peace out.